Hey everybody, welcome to the Fluential and Friends podcast, where the story of your life can help inspire somebody else's life story. I'm here with my amazing guest today, Zhanique. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. Thank you for having me.
I love that. Thank you so much for taking the time to drive down today, sit in the studio, and have an amazing conversation with me. For people who don't know, you are an American Ninja Warrior competitor. You've been on the show 4 times, and you've been in the Women's Championship twice. And for me, this is like I'm almost like giddy because I grew up watching American Ninja Warrior, and
awesome.
It's always been something I'm like, man, I would love to do that. Like I watched it with my dad, my brother, my mom. Like we all would watch it every time it was on. And I'm pretty sure I've probably seen you on there.
Yeah.
You know, without even knowing that. Here we are, 7-8 years later.
That's crazy.
And now I'm actually able to sit down and have a conversation with you.
That's so cool.
You're telling
you should
me.
try. You should try out. I'm telling you. Love it.
If you give me the okay, I'm gonna give it a shot.
You totally should. You totally should.
So before you were this amazing American Ninja Warrior competitor, I do want to kind of go back into your childhood, and I want to kind of see and talk about the steps that you went through, the process to get to where you are today. And we are going to touch more too on like other things that you do, like with your gym. I know you have the vegan fit bars. So I do want to touch into that later on as well. But for people who just don't know, and a lot of it is new to me as well, let's kind of go back and talk about like what kind of got all of this going for you.
So where I'm at right now.
So back to your childhood, like, did you always kind of want to be an athlete? Like, was that always a plan of yours to do something athletic? Did you have a passion for any sports growing up?
You know what? When I was younger, no, I didn't. Honestly, I grew up really, really rough. I had a lot of people that have watched the show have probably seen my story, but I had a very rough upbringing. My mom was a drug addict. She was a single mom, raising two children at the time. So, and we moved from house to house, battered women's shelters. I was in 13 different schools before I graduated. So there was nothing was consistent. Nothing was like a for sure thing. So we grew up really, really rough. But so I didn't really have a goal or dream set, like what I was going to do in the future. I was just basically trying to survive and just live day by day and just try to do the best we can. My mom was trying to do the best she could as a drug addict, and I just did the best with what I had. So I was interested in sports. So I first started out playing basketball and did track in junior high. So that's kind of where the athleticism started. And I played basketball in high school for 3 years, and I got started with weightlifting on sophomore year. So that's when I kind of fell in love with weights. I was in 3 different high schools, so I kind of moved around a lot, but my love for basketball was there. And once I started lifting weights, I was like, oh my gosh, I just loved it. I was like, this is something you could see results really fast. You know, I was always getting compliments as a kid, like, oh, you look muscular. Like my dad had a muscular body. So I think I kind of got some of the genes from him, but I got fit really fast lifting weights. So I kind of fell in love with that, and then played basketball at the same time. So that's kind of how I ended up to being an athlete now. But at the time, I didn't know what the heck I was going to do or be. So that was just I kind of just landed into it, but I did have a love for basketball and track and lifting weights.
So as you were going through like all these school trends, you said 13 different schools.
13 different schools.
That is not easy.
Insane.
At all. Like I never had to change schools at all, and I still like had a rough time
like
transitioning sometimes.
No, it's tough.
So for you consistently transitioning school, did you kind of use sports as a way to kind of like fit in more as well?
For sure.
And stay out of trouble, right?
Yeah, exactly. I kind of used it like, I mean, I was always the new kid. I was always like, I always felt weird and awkward because I'm like, I didn't have any friends at all these different schools. So I was like, let me do sports and then maybe get to know some people, and then hoping if I get into sports and I really do well at this school, maybe my mom won't move me again. Like that was kind of in the back of my head as a kid. Like I wanted some kind of structure. I wanted some kind of stability. And that was what I was hoping when it came to sports. But I mean, it didn't. We still moved around, but I still kept pressing and like, okay, I'll try out for this team. And okay, that's over. I'll try out for track at this school then. So I just used it to escape, really.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people that could relate to that. Like even for me, when I was in high school, I would also use sports as a way to kind of stay out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Fontana High School, not the best, friendliest school out there.
Uh-huh.
And so I purposely would do that as well. Like I'll kind of bounce from sport to sport to sport. And it gave me a reason to like stay after school and stay
Right.
playing sports and give people excuses like, oh, I can't really hang out.
Mm-hmm.
I got basketball practice. So I
Exactly.
do know a lot of people that will kind of take that route to kind of stay out of trouble because those after school systems, in place are actually designed for that as well,
Yeah.
and to give kids something to strive for and a way to kind of stay on track and a good way to make friends as well.
Right.
So for someone like you who was constantly changing schools, it was a good way
was
to kind of make
perfect.
friends,
Mm-hmm.
because you have something to relate to.
Exactly.
So as you're going through the years, and seeing your mom kind of go through this very troubling time, very, very
Mm-hmm.
hard, how does she improve her life? And I know you talked about on a different podcast, we haven't talked about it yet though, that she did get clean.
Mm-hmm.
What steps did she kind of take to go through that transition?
You know what? She tried several times to get clean. She was in several different drug rehab centers, and I know she had to go away a couple times, but she always went back to it. Like it's really hard for people to stop using drugs or alcohol when they live in that same environment or they're around those same friends. So even though we moved from place to place, my mom always ended up finding the closest drug dealer or whoever sold drugs at the time. So she got clean several times throughout my life, but it was very temporary. And then once she was back on drugs, it was like, just binge of her just doing drugs. So finally, as I was an adult now and I had my own child, my mom finally decided to get clean. She actually moved to Missouri. She went to another state to get away from all of this,
Yeah.
cleaned up her life. She gained a bunch of weight. She was like all healthy. I'm like, that's good, mom. Like, I don't care if you gain
Yeah.
weight. Like, that's all that matters is that you're off drugs. And that's like all I care about. That's all I've wanted my whole life. So she moved away, got away from everybody. She went to Missouri and then she came back after about, I think it was a year and a half. And she just stayed clean. And then she's like, you know what? I want to do something else with my life instead of using her time to chase drugs and follow drugs and doing all the other stuff that she was doing while she was on drugs. She's like, I'm going to go to college. So I was like,
All
oh my
right. I
gosh,
love
that's
that.
so awesome. So I was going to COS. And then I had graduated College of the Sequoias in Visalia. And then right after that, she started going to school. So she went to be a drug counselor. So she got a certification. She gave it her all. She was still clean and sober. And then after that, she started working at a couple of different drug rehab centers to help people get off drugs. And she said that God really gave her this purpose. Like she was a drug addict. That was her decision and her choice, but that God's going to turn it around and take anything bad and turn it into good. And that's exactly what he did for her. And now she's able to counsel people to get off drugs. It's so amazing. Right now she's not working, but she just stopped like 6 months ago, but she's helped several different women and everyone loves her. I would go to the rehab center and bring her some goods or like some lunch or something, some coffee. And then she would always be bragging about me. My daughter's on Ninja Warrior. My daughter does that. And I'm like, and they were like, oh, you're famous. And I'm like, no, I'm just a little bit maybe. And I don't know. She was just super proud of me, but she has no idea how extremely proud I am of her for actually getting off drugs. Because most people that are severely addicted end up dying, because they don't take care of themselves or they never get off drugs or they overdose. And I was always afraid as a child that my mom was going to overdose. And I was terrified of that. I was thinking one day my mom was going to overdose off this, and like to have her clean and sober now, and for my kids, her grandkids, to have a grandma that's clean and sober, and for me to have a mom that's clean and sober is like, I couldn't ask for anything else. It's amazing.
That's beautiful how everything kind of just came back full circle.
Yeah.
And now she's helping people and she can relate to them.
Exactly.
Because she was also in that position before. So
yeah, and she found her purpose, like she actually found her purpose. I feel like if she didn't and she wasn't counseling people and she was just home with just her thoughts and the things that she thinks about, it's easy to go back to drugs. You have to distract yourself with something else other than drugs. And hers was school and then working full time, because she like literally not lost herself, but she just poured everything into her work, and she was doing like 9-10 hours a day, always working. But I was like, you know what, whatever keeps my mom sober and clean, I'm good. I'm like, that's awesome. So yeah, she's very happy now that she's a different person.
I love that story. So for anyone who might be listening or even watching, you know, if anybody's struggling and they feel like there's not a way to get through that and they're kind of hit a wall, man, there's always a way, right? Through the power of God. And
absolutely,
you know, before the podcast began, you know, I asked you if you felt comfortable sharing this story, and for that purpose, because the purpose of this podcast is to inspire people regardless of what the situation is, right? And so for you to be able to share that story, somebody might be listening or have a family member that might be in that same situation, just know that you're never too far gone to get help.
Exactly.
I love that.
And I mean, taking themselves out of that environment is one way that will help, so like a lot. And the other way is just filling your time up with something else, something more productive. So those two things are what helped my mom, and hopefully that will help someone else or another family member that's listening as well.
I love it. So for you growing up and seeing all this, did that ever kind of roll into your life and the way you were growing up as well? Like, did you ever have your...
Yeah, I did. Totally. Like, I mean, I was around drugs and alcohol my whole life. Like, I seen it. It was around me. Like, that's just what it was. Like, when you grow up in that environment, that's normal to you. So for my kids, that's definitely not like, they know like, oh, that person's smoking, or that they're not supposed to be doing that. And so for me, it was normal. So at a young age, yes, I started smoking weed. I was 11 or 12. No, I was 12 when I started smoking weed, 11 when I had my first beer. I was drinking, getting high, started doing drugs at 15, just experimenting with different drugs. And it was just right there in front of me. You know, the drug dealers were in and out of the house. They knew me. You know, I was a teenager at the time that I started doing drugs. So I mean, that's when that's mostly when people experiment, is when they're teenagers. And my mom wasn't like, you know, don't do it. She was the one doing it. She wasn't really like she wasn't a parental figure. She was just like kind of, I really didn't have no rules. There was no boundaries. It was like, do whatever you want. Like, as long as you're here in the house, you're safe, is kind of how she felt. But definitely don't raise your kids that way. That's not good.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
It's very bad. I was like, I'm definitely not raising my kids like that. But I mean, that's how she raised me. So I went through a lot of stuff, like drugs, alcohol. I was abusing alcohol just to get away and escape. So that did kind of hinder me, I think, from being an even better athlete at the time. I mean, I remember in high school going to basketball practice super high, you know, barely able to dribble a ball. And the coach is like, hey, Z, what's wrong with you? Like, what's up, Coffee? And that was my maiden last name. Like, what's up with you? And I'm like, oh, nothing. I'm just tired. So like, I definitely probably could have been a way better athlete if I wasn't exposed to all those things and experimenting with all those things as a teenager. So I finally got clean once I was pregnant with my daughter at 17 years old. Once I found out I was pregnant, cut everything cold turkey. I was like, there's no way I'm not going to repeat number 2 with my daughter. Like, this is a living being. This child has, you know, no say so of like what the mom is doing, but I'm going to be better for her. And I didn't want to repeat the same mistakes my mom was doing. Even though I was young and dumb and drinking and smoking and doing what she was doing, I was like, I can't do that to someone that's innocent. So that's actually what got me off of drugs and alcohol, was being pregnant with my first child. Which was a blessing in disguise. I was young.
It like forced you to stop. And obviously, I'm sure like when you found out you were pregnant, you probably had flashbacks to when you were a kid. And like you said, like you don't want to raise your kids like that either. So you're pregnant, 17 years old, you graduate high school, and then you go to college at the Sequoias.
College of Sequoias. Yep. I started there and I was pregnant at the time. And I was like, you know what? My mom did some college. My dad did some college. I have to finish. So I don't care what it is. I don't care how long it's going to take me. I'm going to do it. I'm going to start it. I don't care if it takes me 5 years, 10 years, I'm going to get it done. So even though I was pregnant, I didn't let that stop me or hold me back. Right after I had her, the coaches, the track coach and the basketball coach is like, hey, you want to be on our team? And I'm like, oh, I got to work. I'm a single mom right now. I'm raising my child. I was basically working, going to school. I already felt guilty enough having her in daycare for that long. So I couldn't afford a 3-hour practice. So I had to decline both of them. And they hit me up for, a couple of years, and then I was just like, oh, I have to be a mom right now. So that wasn't my time to shine, but fast forward to now, it is.
And when you were in college, you got diagnosed with dyslexia.
Yes.
So how did that kind of come about?
So, dude, like, the craziest thing is, like, I always felt there was something wrong with me in school, but I didn't know what it was.
Like with numbers and stuff like that.
Dude, like reading out loud, I always felt super embarrassed. I always got super red talking in front of people. I always felt dumb and stupid. I was always the last one to finish a test. So it didn't matter what subject it was. Like in high school, I was like the last person every single time. Like they'd be like, "Are you done?" And I'm like, "No, I'm still doing it." So I have to like reread the question over and over again so I can comprehend what's even asking me. And then when I'm coming up with the answer, then it takes even longer. So I think it was rereading everything. And then I was very distracted. So anyone that would tap a pencil, anyone that got up to turn in their test, my eyes would leave the paper and then automatically go to wherever that person was or whoever was distracting me. So then I would have to reread the question again. So it was constantly, I didn't know what it was. So finally, when I went to college, I was like, all right, let me see if I can get some help, because the tests were taking too long. I wasn't able to finish a test in the time frame that they gave me, the teachers gave me. So I was like, I'm going to get some help. I got tutoring. Then they sent me to a disability resource center, and I got some testing done. It took 6 hours. It was like increments of 2 hours. And I was like, first time ever taking tests like that. And they were like, "Oh yeah, you have dyslexia." And I was like, "Oh, okay, what is that?" So I was like, "I don't even know what that is." So they explained it to me what it was, and they're like, "Yours isn't severe, but you do have dyslexia, so that's why it's harder for you to read. That's why you reread things. You don't comprehend things." And I was like, "Oh, okay, this totally makes sense." So I don't know if back then, if it wasn't like diagnostic enough, but my mom never even like took me to a doctor to even see like what's wrong with her. Like that was never even in the question. I was always doing my homework till like 9-10 o'clock at night, but that was like, my mom wasn't even paying attention. So it didn't even matter to her. But for me, as an adult and raising a kid, I was like, no, I really want to get this done. So I needed to find out what was wrong. And so that's when I first got diagnosed with dyslexia. And I never knew all my life that that's what I had. One of the problems I had.
It's so funny because like you're telling me the symptoms you had, and like you're telling me this, I'm just like, that's not normal.
Yeah, I guess not.
mean, I feel like when I used to take tests in high school and I did some college, I feel like I was the same way. So
Really?
I'm like, you're telling me this, I'm just like thinking to myself, like, I do that.
Really?
That's not normal.
No, it's not. Did you have trouble like reading out loud? And
no,
like,
not reading out loud, but definitely like the test taking, like it's, like you said, somebody like tapping their desk or getting up. Like I would do the same thing. I would kind of like get completely distracted, have to reread over and over and over. And I would also be like one of the last ones to finish a test. Even if it was a subject I was confident in, I would still be like one of the last ones to turn my test. And I'd just be like, man, like how are these people getting done so early?
Oh yeah, I thought the same thing over and over. Yeah, but it could be ADD or dyslexia, because ADD makes you you're constantly distracted. So I kind of have both. I read up. I didn't get diagnosed with ADD, but I read up all the symptoms of that, and I was like, oh, I totally have 100% have that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a typical guy and not get that checked out.
Yeah, I know most guys do have that.
I'm gonna just say I'm normal, and
there you go.
Nothing's wrong with me.
We'll leave it at that.
So you get diagnosed with dyslexia. You end up graduating
I
college.
did finally.
Oh,
yeah, it took 8 years. I ain't gonna lie, but I got it done. I was doing part-time, so I met my husband in college. So it took I met my husband there. Then we had 2 children while I was still going to college. So, I mean, 3 children total, working, going to school. I've always worked my whole life. So it was a struggle. So I did go part-time. I would have to take a semester off after having a baby. So it took 8 years, but I got it done.
Hey, you know
got
what?
an associate's degree.
You said to yourself, no matter how long it takes,
yep, I'm going to do it.
And you did it. So
I did.
Kudos to you for that. I mean,
thank you.
I never graduated from college. I did some college. So, hey, you did more than majority of us out there. So
thank you.
Be proud of yourself.
Thank you so much.
So after college is done, how did the whole American Ninja thing come into fruition?
It's crazy, it's crazy because this and when we talk about bodybuilding, kind of just was just like, hey, try it out. okay, I'll try it out. So that's kind of how it went. So the Ninja Warrior. So the Ninja Warrior one, because I did bodybuilding first, but I did.
Well, well, let's touch on that first.
Okay.
Then. Yeah, that way we could keep a consistent timeline. So how did the bodybuilding come into fruition?
Okay, so I always try to get really fit right after I had a child. I was like, oh, like I got to get fit, got to lose the baby weight, So always working out and trying to get back to my body, like prior to having a baby. I wanted that body back. So I would work out, I would do whatever it takes. So I stumbled upon a boot camp that was in my town in Visalia. It was called 50 Fitness. And so I went to a boot camp. It was like a $3, $5 boot camp. And I was like, just whatever. I just want to get fit. Well, the owner of that gym was like, hey, do you want to come to personal train, or have you ever thought about doing a show? Like, your physique is amazing. And I was like, oh no, I'm just doing it to get fit. Like, no, I've never done a show. I have a hernia. I can't do a show with a hernia. And I was like, no. And she's like, dude, we'll sponsor you 100% free training. Just get up there and do a show. And I was like, what? Okay.
And
yeah.
What year is this?
This was 2014.
Okay.
Yeah. So I trained for 3 months and then stepped on stage. Oh my gosh. It was insane. So, and then got first place in my class, which was
in NPC.
NPC.
And you did figure.
And I did figure and all natural.
And you were all natural.
Yes, 100%. And I was like, and so I knew nothing about bodybuilding. I have never been in the game. Like, it was literally like, I just listened to everything they said, did every workout they said. There was another trainer there that helped me with like a peak week diet. And then that was it. So I basically ate all my own food, but I was vegetarian at the time. And they were like, oh, I think you should eat some fish for more protein. So there I go, eating fish for the first time because I thought I needed more protein. Couldn't get it. I did. No, tilapia is nasty.
Okay, good.
But you know what? I did have to try that. I did have to do tilapia. I really enjoyed salmon. Salmon was very flavorful, but higher in fat. And then and then cod. Yeah, it was those three. So that was the first time I ate fish, was for that bodybuilding competition. And then I did my own diet other than that. And then someone helped me with the peak week diet. And then boom, stepped on stage, won, I think it was class D or whatever, won first place, lost overall. I was totally runner up. It was like me and the girl in the middle. And then it was like, but I didn't know much about posing. I didn't know anything about bodybuilding. So of course she won. I was like super happy for her, but I was like, hey, at least I got first place. I got a trophy. Like, at least I got first place at my first show. 3 months of training, not too bad. So that's how I got into bodybuilding. Someone just like, hey, like took me under their wing, like, let's go. And I'm like, all right.
That's amazing.
It's crazy.
Man, so the whole tilapia thing, I never do tilapia. And I see some competitors, like they live off it, right?
Really?
Like when they're on prep, I see them. The gnarliest thing I've ever seen, and I think it was from my friend Josh Parker, JP. Sorry if you're listening, JP. If this wasn't you, but I'm pretty sure it was. I think he mixes his fish with his oatmeal and eats it together. I'm pretty sure that was him.
Oh, no.
So Josh, if you're listening, if
sorry,
it wasn't
JP.
you, I'm sorry.
That's gross.
But,
if that is you. That's nasty.
But I know I've seen it before, and I'm pretty sure.
Maybe grits, but oatmeal, dude?
Yeah, straight
That's
oatmeal.
crazy.
Yeah, I've seen some funky stuff before. Like
I've seen someone put eggs in oatmeal.
I've never seen that. That sounds horrible as well, though.
Yeah, it does.
The only thing that belongs in oatmeal is like peanut butter, a scoop of protein, and some fruit.
And some fruit, yep. Or nuts, yeah.
Or nuts, yeah. Anything other than that,
nah.
Don't put your chicken in there. Don't put tilapia in there. Like, leave it alone, please.
Nasty.
Like, it's just these competitors, right? Like, competitors do some crazy stuff.
For real.
Like when you're deep in. So let me tell you, when I was deep in prep, in 2019, when I was getting ready for the Olympia, I was like so depleted, right? And I would get the Flavor God dessert seasoning. They had like this chocolate donut seasoning, 0 calorie seasoning, right? And I would put that in a little cup. I'm so embarrassed for even telling this story because I think about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was
desperate.
I was so desperate.
That's
and so
funny.
I'd put that into a cup, and then I would get the Walden Farms pancake syrup and pour it in there, and then stir it up and drink it because they're both 0 calories. Because and the thing is, like, I don't even have a sweet tooth at all. I have like a savory tooth, but when you're that depleted though,
right?
I had a sweet tooth, and I was like, oh my god! I was like, oh my
so
gosh.
Syrup and a seasoning?
Yes, I would use the 0 calorie Walden Farms syrup, and I would pour it in with the Flavor God chocolate donut seasoning.
That's crazy.
And stir it together and drink it, and it was amazing.
It was amazing, really.
And I swear I did that every single day until my show.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it helped. It helped you
it
get
helped
through
the sweet
another
tooth.
day.
And listen,
That's
if
cool.
you're my competitor and you're listening to this,
Try it out.
I know I don't recommend it, please, because you will feel like I said, I'm embarrassed even telling the story. But oh my gosh, it was so
So
good.
why don't you recommend that they try it?
Because I look back at it now and I'm so embarrassed by it. I was like, I can't believe I
No,
stooped to that, to
you had to
drinking
do what you got to
syrup.
do. That's hilarious.
Well, at least,
Like what? Like a tablespoon?
at
Or
least put it
like-
on, like, listen, at least put it on a rice cake, okay? If you
Yeah.
do that, at least put it on a rice cake so it seems a lot more normal. Just don't go drink syrup like
That's
I did.
hilarious. Oh my gosh. Never
Yeah,
heard of that
it was only a
one.
little bit though. Yeah, it was definitely only like a tiny bit, but it was just enough to help me survive the prep.
Yeah, but you won, dude. So
I won. So
that's
hey, you
it.
know what?
That's all that
That
matters.
might have been the key.
Yeah.
I did not do that in 2021, and I did not win the Olympia.
See, now everyone listening is gonna do that.
Yeah.
So they could win too.
Yeah.
That's
Oh my gosh,
funny.
there's some crazy stuff out there. Okay, so you do your first bodybuilding show. You end up winning first place in your category,
Yeah.
and then after that is when
Ninja started.
the
Yeah.
started.
So 2014 is when I did that. 2015, I was just chilling, just working out, just getting personal trained and stuff. And then 2016 is when I became a personal trainer. So I started personal training 2016, and then this ninja gym opened up in Visalia. So where I live, it's a very small town. It's like central. It's called the Central Valley. It's very small. So we're an hour south of Fresno, and we're an hour north of Bakersfield. So we're right smack in the middle. It's a pretty small town. We really don't have, there was nothing Ninja Warrior there. There was just several gyms. Well, this ninja gym opened up, and they were going to do ninja and then like some Spartan stuff in that gym. And one of my friends was like, oh, don't you watch that Ninja Warrior show? They're going to open a gym. And didn't you say you kind of wanted to be on that? I was like, yeah, I would love to. I was like, are you sure it's in our town? And they're like, yeah. They sent me the link, and I was like, oh, dude, right when they do their soft opening, like I'm there 100%. So they did their soft opening. I was like the first person at the door, like ready to go. And then once they, I think they were doing memberships, like starting them. And I told my dad, I was like, it was in August when I started. I was like, Dad, I know what I want for my birthday. Can you pay for this membership? It's $100 or whatever. And he's like, yeah, sure. What is it for? I'm like, this ninja gym. I'm gonna go and check it out. And so I go and I check out the gym. They had the salmon ladder. They had like all kinds of stuff, like the floating shelves. They had these bungees. And I sucked, dude. I thought I was like, oh, I'm strong. You know, I'm fit. I did okay at the bodybuilding show. So I'm going to try it out. No, dude, super humbling. The salmon ladder is way harder than it looks. It doesn't matter if you're strong. It depends on the technique and you practicing the movement. So yeah, I couldn't even get up one rung. So everything I tried totally failed, but I was determined, like, I really want to get better at this. And this is something I'm really interested in. So I'm going to try until I get better and master it. And didn't even think nothing about the show. It was just like, I want to master the skill. So then the guy sees me there. I'm like 3 times a week there. Like I was the person that was there all the time other than kids, like mainly the only adult. I'm like, dude, why don't other adults like this? Like, this is so cool. No, it was not in. I would invite all my friends and they're like, no, maybe I'll do the Spartan stuff, but I don't want to do that ninja stuff. And I'm like, whatever. So then the owner of the gym sees me. He was helping me for a while to get the salmon ladder and to get other movements, obstacle movements. So then he goes, hey, they hit up all the ninja gyms and it's their time to accept applications. So they, of course, messaged us and I think you should try out. And I was like, what? I've only been here like 2 or 3 months. Like, there's no way I'm going to apply and be on national TV and make a fool of myself. There's no way that's happening. And he's like, I think you're stronger than you think you are and you're learning faster and faster and you're getting the movements. I think you should try it out. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to pray about it. I don't know about that. I'm not too sure. I'll get back to you. So then like a month later comes and I still haven't made a decision. I was like, dude, I'm not going to apply. So I pray about it. Didn't hear nothing. God didn't give me an answer. And then I was like, God didn't give me an answer. That doesn't mean yes. That doesn't mean no. And then my husband's like, why not? What do you have to lose? And I was like, you know what? You're right. So then I apply. Oh my gosh, the application process is crazy. So it's like 20 questions long, detailed about your family history, your most proudest event, your first job. Like they want the nitty gritty. They want everything to know about you.
Just in case you end up advancing, they have
yes,
all this
they
info.
want your story. They love story. It's a reality TV show, so they have to have a story with it. So I guess they really liked my story because I got called right away. And I was like, I thought out of thousands of applicants, there's no way. Like my video was okay. My videographer did a great job. But I sucked. I looked at the video and I was like, oh my gosh, like I sucked in the video. I don't talk right. You know, critique, you know how you critique yourself.
We're our biggest critics.
We are totally. And I totally was. And I was like, there's no way they're picking this video. So they did. They called me back. It was this huge surprise thing that they did. And my husband recorded it. So I was at the gym training. I had a group of people, all my friends and family members came, and they came through the door. And then and they had balloons, and I was like, wait, what the heck? I was literally training clients. And then he's like, oh, answer your phone. And I was like, wait, what? Like, this is crazy. And then the phone rings, and then it's them, and I'm like screaming, and I'm like, wow, like I couldn't believe it was really happening. So I got the call, and then it was crunch time. It was like go time. From that point on, I think they called me in January, and you have to be ready by March. So I stepped it up. I was like, every ninja gym that I can drive to, every local ninja comp I'm going to do. So then it was just like go time. I was like driving to LA. There was an LA Expo. They had a little ninja thing there. I went there and did that. Didn't do really good at that, but I was like, hey, I'm going to try everything. Mm-hmm. Then I did one in Fresno, which is an hour from where I live. Got first place in that, won like a couple $100. And then I did another comp in Concord, which is up north near the Bay Area. And I got first or second place at that one. And then the little momentum, I was like, okay, maybe I could do this. I was getting confidence by winning. And I think I did 3 competitions in 3 months. And I think it was first, second, and then the LA Fit Expo, I didn't do well at all. So I got first and second. I was like, okay. So then boom, March comes and it's go time. And I'm like, don't know what to expect. Never stepped on set before in my life. Only watched it on TV, which was incredible, super intriguing to watch on TV and see the cool stuff that they do. And I was there. I was there, and they call your name up. They give you your number, and it's like, you can't even see the course before you're on it. You can't touch the course. Wow. It's so crazy. So all they do is like, you can't even see it. But once you're going to go on, they do rules. So they go through each obstacle. They explain each rule to you, make sure you understand the rule. That's the first time you get to see the obstacle. A couple hours later, you're on. Like, that's it. So it's like you have just a little bit of time, like a couple hours to plan through each move that you're going to do and how you're going to execute it. So yeah, that's how I went on it. Like, some guy, like the owner of the gym was like, you know, how like to apply, and then I applied and got on it. So it's like everything just like kind of falls into place somehow.
That's so crazy. I didn't even know they even had like smaller competitions.
They do.
Like
I know. I didn't know before either.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Like, I would love to do the smaller ones.
Yes.
No one could really see me fail.
Do it. I will tell you when the next one is. You should totally do it.
That'd be awesome.
We could do it together. It'll be super cool.
Okay. See,
and then then you won't feel as nervous because I'm going to help you out and I'll tell you what to do. It'll be cool. It'll be really cool.
I would love to have you there, guide me.
Let's do it.
Yeah, a real professional ninja. So crazy to even think about, because like I said, I watched it as a kid, and so it was like something I would always love to attempt.
Right, you could do it. I watched it too. I was watching it as a kid, and that, like, I was in LA. My grandma lives in LA, and I remember watching American Ninja Warrior on TV show. I don't remember what season it was, but I was only 21 or 22 years old, and I was like, I told my grandma, I was like, I'm going to be on that show one day. I was like, this looks really cool. I was like, one day I'm going to be on that show. And she's all, you're crazy. She's like, do you see what they're doing? I was like, I know, but it's so interesting. I was like, you don't think I'm strong enough to do that? I can do that. And she's like, I don't know. I think you're crazy. And then fast forward to now, and like, I'm totally on it. And it's like, and now I tell my grandma, like, I told you, now every time I'm on TV, she'll call me and she's just like, Mija, we just seen you on TV right now. And I'm like, oh, thanks for watching. Like, she's so proud because we remember that moment that I said I was going to be on it. And totally joking. I was completely joking. It was just something that I just thought it was really cool and just said it just to say it. But
I think I'd belong better on Wipeout.
Yeah. Wipeout's crazy though too. Wipeout looks fun. Honestly, it looks fun.
Really fun. Yeah, I mean, you're just an overall just badass.
Thank you.
Like, so before we even sat down and had this podcast, you ran 2 Spartan classes, right? Prior?
One Spartan class and then one booty class today. Yeah.
Like, and then you drove all the way down here from Fresno.
Yep.
I'm just like, this girl is a non-stop.
I know. That's what everyone says. The guy that did the podcast with me last time, he was like, wait, I just seen you just won your bodybuilding, you got your pro card, and the next week you did a Spartan race. He's like, what don't you do?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I try to do it all. I want to be just the best. I want to be that person that people look at and see and there's like, dude, that's what's up. Like, Z's dope. Like, Z can do it. I feel like I can do anything. Like, seriously. Or I'll at least try it. You know, I'll at least give it a shot. If I can't do it the first time, I'll try. And if it's something I really want to do, I'm not going to give up.
I definitely agree with you being dope.
Thanks. I know that's an old school word. They probably don't even use that word anymore. Sorry, guys. I'm a little bit older.
You know what? You can use the word all you want. If anybody's going to bring you back, you are.
Thank you.
No one's going to argue with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, because like after a bodybuilding competition, you're like so depleted and drained. So for you to do a bodybuilding competition 1 week and then the following week do a Spartan run,
Right.
That's like
and
unheard of.
Don't forget, I had COVID the week before that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was COVID. And then I missed the bodybuilding show. So then I did Corona, got first place. And then the following week I did the bodybuilding show.
And that's where I met you.
That's where I met you.
Was at the Corona show. So I seen you on stage and I seen you come out and I was judging the show for people who don't know. And I never seen you before. And I seen you doing your posing routine. I'm like, oh my gosh, and you were an amateur at the time.
Yeah.
Because it was, was it your first show for
that?
That
was, yeah, my first show for PNBA. Before that, I just did NPC. I did two NPC shows.
So I seen you walk out and I'm like, this girl is a pro. Like, you're doing the amateur category because you never competed before in this organization. And then I was like, these poor girls who were in the class with you have no idea what they just got themselves into.
So sad.
And so you blow them out of the water, right?
Aww.
Like every single judge had you in first place for that category.
Dang.
And you end up getting your pro card for the INBA, PNBA.
Yes.
And then when the show was over, I like ran up to you pretty much.
Dude, that was so awesome. Like for a judge to come up to me, like, cause I had seen you and then I seen you up on stage with your clients, cause you had clients, and I was like, for you to come up to me and tell me that meant so much to me. Like, sorry, but other organizations don't do that.
Right.
And like, I won't say names, but like other organizations won't do that. And like, you did that. And like, that was amazing to me. Like, I felt like I went home, told my husband, I'm like, babe, like a judge came up to me and said I did a great job. Like that means a lot. Like you really impacted me. Like,
oh, thank you. I had to.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, I had to. Like when the show was over, I was like, where is she at? I need to tell her to keep competing. If you're like, just in case you just thought about doing one show this year, I was like, I need to tell her she has a future in the sport. She can do amazing things. Like,
and you encouraged me to just do pro, because I was like, oh, do I stay amateur? And you're like, no. I had to ask you because I'm like debating in my head, like maybe I should just stay with amateur. But you and my posing coach was like, what? You already killed the amateur show. Like, why would you do that again? That makes no sense. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't feel ready. Do we ever really feel
100%
ready or 100? No, like I don't.
Mm-hmm. Even when I was an amateur, I would see the pros and I'm like, oh, these guys are way better than me.
Heck yeah. I said the same thing.
Yeah.
And then people were like, the pros were telling me backstage, like, dude, you should be up here with us. Exactly. Like, and I was like, that's so cool. And then the amateurs were like, you're not a pro. And I was like, no, I've never done a PNBA before. And then they were like, oh, dang, but everyone was super cool. Like backstage, dude, PNBA is amazing. Like everyone backstage is legit. All the competitors are super cool. Like everyone's supportive. Amazing. Like absolutely amazing. I love the PNBA.
Yeah. For everyone who competes there for the first time, they always say similar things. Like, oh my gosh, I was backstage and the competitors are so nice. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. When we're on stage, it's a completely different story. But yeah, whenever we're backstage though, like everyone is friendly. Yeah. So friendly.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
So different than other shows.
Yeah. So when I seen you that day, I was like, I need to tell this girl she needs to be a pro. She needs to transition to a pro category and you would kill it. And so before we go into get sidetracked though, let's go back into the American Ninja Warrior. So 2016, you did your first show. And so how did you do that very first one?
Oh my gosh. So I couldn't believe I got breakout rookie of the year. So that was like insane, right? Because I never
thousands of
hundreds, because each city has around 100 competitors that get picked for that region. So each region has about 100, and they do let a few walk-ons come on and test it out. And then the 100 that they choose compete. So out of 100, I beat all the women the first night, which was the city qualifier.
Wow.
The people that have already done Ninja Warrior, like I was the rookie, So I got past the battery ram, which none of the women got past the battery ram on a city qualifier.
And what kind of course what did that look, the obstacle?
So the battery ram was, it's super hard to explain. It's like super weird to explain obstacles. So you jump off, I think you jump off a trampoline and then you grab this thing. It's kind of like a pipe. And it's on another metal pipe and you have to shuffle it and slide it down.
And it like drops levels, right?
Yeah, well, it does in Vegas. It dropped. They made it harder in Vegas. It dropped. This one, you had to shuffle it all the way to the end. And then you had to jump to another one that was higher up. So you had to use your momentum, jump up. And the first one had to lock. You had to lock it in. And then the second one, you jump to it. You still have to have your arms grabbed around it. You can have even your bicep wrapped around it. Some people did that, but I just had my arms and forearms, and you have to shuffle through the second one and then jump on the platform. That one didn't lock. So when you try to jump off, it would come back and then you would have to go again. So I literally muscled through that. Like I didn't know anything about technique. I did not know very many ninjas because I was only training 8 months before stepping on that stage. So 8 months at that tiny little ninja gym and then 3 months doing those little local comps. And then it was boom, showtime. So I didn't know the ninjas. I only met a few ninjas doing competitions. So it was crazy. I was like kind of on my own. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I literally think it was my strength and the grace of God that got me through that obstacle because the other woman couldn't do it. And maybe it was my fitness background. Like I was into, bodybuilding a couple years before that and then always lifted weights. So it had to be
good
my
foundation.
Strength. Yeah, absolutely. Cause I was like, how else would I have got through that? Sadly, I failed on the next obstacle, which was the warped wall. That was like, it was so horrible to see me fail that 3 times. But like I said, again, they didn't have a warped wall at the gym that I was training at. There was no warped wall. So I wasn't training on warped walls at all. So I didn't have the right technique. I did not have the right shoes. You have to have a certain shoe that it has to have grip on the bottom to really grip the wall. And I did not have the right shoes. So my shoes were slipping. My technique was bad. And I just didn't have enough gas in the tank. Like I burnt out. So I failed that season. I got through it, still got breakout rookie of the year, still got first place out of the women and still made it to Las Vegas, which was the national finals, but I didn't get up the wall. But it was still like a huge accomplishment for me as a rookie to get that far and to do that well. Cause sometimes people don't understand, like, though you don't fall in the water, or though you don't get as far as you want to, you can still make it to the next level. It just depends on, they're only going to choose the top 30 people. So if only 4 of them pass the wall, the other people still have a chance. So you don't have to hit the buzzer every time. It's great to hit a buzzer because it's amazing to get up that wall and hit that buzzer, but you can still make it to Vegas. You can still go on to city finals and city finals and Las Vegas, even if you don't get the buzzer. So I still got really far. I still made it to Vegas my first year, but that's how I did. It was the battery ram, which was insane, and the warped wall is where I fell. So I was like, okay, after this, I'm never going to fail a wall again. So that is what amped me. Like I literally went to the next level after that because I was like, I'm going to train so hard. I'm never going to fail at the wall again. So right when I got home after that day, I literally had someone build me a wall. So now I have a 15-foot warped wall in my backyard. I have a 15-foot salmon ladder and a 15-foot pegboard going up. So it's all connected together. I was like, I don't know how it's going to happen. I'll get the money for it. Don't worry about it. Like just build it. And I got it. So the guy I ended up running into a contractor, like some guy at the park. He knew I was on the show. He took pictures with me and his son. And he's like, oh, I'll build it for you this weekend. And I was like, what? Wow. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I got it. Just pay for the lumber. Paid for the lumber, dude. And that was it. He brought it that Monday.
Wow.
Yeah, it was insane. It was so crazy. So yeah, I have that big old thing in the back, like right on the side. So if you pull up to my house, you just see a warped wall, like that's bigger than the house. Cool. Yeah, it's crazy. So I didn't fail the wall again, but I didn't get to it on the other season. So I would fail the one right before or so I didn't get the chance until the women's episode that just aired this year, which was the 2nd annual women's championship. Then I finally got up the wall. Like I was finally able to show everyone what I've been working so long for the last 4 years. and finally got up it. So I was like, see, I could do it, you know? And then like, it was so exciting. Like Akbar and Matt were like just cheering for me, and like everyone was so excited for me because that's what I really needed to accomplish, you know, because failing that your first year, you just have to accomplish that. So that's what I did. And it amped my training up so much because I was like, you know what? I don't want to fail at anything. I just want to be the best. So I just kept training harder and harder and training more and more. So
yeah, whenever I see people do the warped wall and they make it up there, they make it look so easy.
they do.
So easy.
Absolutely.
And then I see people struggle and they make it look so hard.
I know.
So I'm always like, is it hard? Is
Yeah.
it easy?
You have to have the right technique.
Oh,
That's
my
key.
gosh.
So if you don't really train on a warped wall, most time you're not going to get up it.
Mm-hmm.
If you train on it consistently, then you'll get up it. But a lot of people don't, like, they don't train the right way for it. So you have to train on obstacle, 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 and then do the warped wall last
When you're exhausted. Mm-hmm.
If not, you won't be able to get up it. Even if you do have the right technique and the right shoes, you will be too tired to get up that wall. And people don't get that. That's why you'll see ninjas that are like veterans or people that have been doing it several seasons, and then you see them fail the wall, and you notice that they've got up the wall other previous years, and you're like, dude, that's crazy. Like, she just got tired, or you can get stuck on one obstacle, burn out all your energy, and then try to do the wall, and it's not working. Yeah, it's not it. So yeah, it's really hard. It's challenging.
So I have a funny story. So back in like 2017, sometime around that year, 2015 to 2017, I was at the IFBB Olympia, and they have the expo. You know, and they had an American Ninja Warrior course.
They did?
And they had a salmon ladder.
Oh shoot.
I know.
You tried it?
And I was like, I have got to try this,
Heck
right?
yeah.
But I was so embarrassed because like I didn't want a lot of people to see me just in case I failed.
Right.
And so I waited until like it was really about to close the expo, so there wasn't really a lot of people, and I like walked up and like, hey, can I do this? And they're like, yeah, it's on the waiver. It's only $1 to try it out.
Dang,
so
that's cool.
I paid the $1. And so the guy's like, the only thing is when you're going through the salmon ladder, don't hesitate. Like, you know, once you have your momentum going, just keep going. Don't hesitate.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, cool. And mind you, the padding on the bottom of the salmon ladder was like a 3-inch padding. It was so tiny. And I'm like, you guys have like a safety net, nothing like that? Cool.
Dang.
I'll be fine. And so I'm doing it, right? So I'm like, bam, bam,
you got
bam,
it?
bam. I'm going up. I have one more left.
Oh my gosh.
And I hesitate. Right, and I kind of do like a little hesitation one, and then I try to do it, and the left one clicks in, the right one hits the
rung.
The rung.
Yep.
It hits it and like ricochets off.
Yeah.
And I just fall all the way down
And you're
to
on the
this
floor.
little thin padding, right? And like all my friends are there watching, and everyone's like, "Oh," and like, and I'm in the crowd of people, so I jump up right away, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm fine."
Right.
It's cool, no big deal. And my head's like ringing, right?
Gosh,
like,
you fell hard.
Definitely concussed. No big deal.
You fell pretty high.
I did. There was only one more left, and I was all the way up.
Oh my gosh.
And so I landed on this, right? But when I landed, I landed on my hand and like my shoulder. And it's like I got up and I shook it off, and I'm like, okay, like nothing feels broken. Like I'm able to walk still.
Dang.
And so we're like walking to the car now, and once my adrenaline starts to go away, I was like, man, my hand's kind of hurting.
Dang.
And so when I look at my hand, my entire thumb right here is getting purple, and my whole hand ended up getting bruised up.
Oh no.
And so I think I did a little micro tear on my thumb muscle.
Yeah.
Whenever I landed, I think it like jolted back because all my weight landed on it.
Dang.
And but we were in Vegas, and I just drank some alcohol and I tried to ignore it.
Oh my gosh. No.
Which sucked though, because
Didn't
like
go to the doctor, nothing.
No, again, I am a guy, so be a man, don't go to doctors.
Drink some alcohol, you'll be fine.
So I drank some alcohol, and then like we're like out partying at night, and like I kept like kind of like, you know, cupping my hands together, and every time I would do that, I would forget that I have like this tear on my hand.
Yeah, because you couldn't feel the pain.
I couldn't feel the pain, and like I would hit it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot. Dang. I can't close my hand. And then the next morning was day 2 of the expo, and so we had to hit the gym, and so I'm in the gym doing curls like without closing my hand, and did a full workout with my hand like bummed out.
Wow, and it was all purple?
All purple.
Did you even ice it or anything?
No.
No, nothing.
Definitely
oh my
not.
gosh.
And the alcohol is like blood thinner, so
Yeah.
it probably made it worse.
Yeah, it did. For sure. Oh my gosh. I can't
So-
believe you did on your first try though.
Yeah, so I have a video of the salmon ladder of me falling and everything, and I have a picture of my thumb as well. So I'll show you all
Yes,
that after
I want to
the
see.
podcast.
Dude, that's so cool. See, I'm telling you, you can do ninja. If you were able to do that with never doing it before, that's pretty impressive. Like I didn't get it on my first try, and
Yeah.
you did it. You killed it.
I most likely have PTSD now from that, so that's going to be my obstacle.
That you're gonna fail on. If you get there, you're gonna be like, oh shoot.
Oh my gosh, I'll never forget it
That's
though.
super cool though. But yeah, I'm glad you didn't like get any serious injury. Like I fell off
Me
an
too.
obstacle and had like serious injuries, and like with thin padding. It's like, dude, these are obstacles. Like the padding needs to be thick, like
Yes.
not these little thin ones. Yeah, I was out couldn't do season 9 because I was injured after falling off an obstacle, bruised 2 vertebrae and then whiplashed. And I was like, oh, it's just a bruise. I can still do stuff. No, dude, it prolonged the injury even worse. But anyways, falling with very little padding, I was out for season 11. Yeah, it kind of sucked.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I'm glad you didn't get like super hurt because
Yeah, me
that's
too.
pretty high up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a nice bruise for a few weeks, and yeah, everybody was like, "You should go to the doctors." I'm like, "It's fine.
You're
I'm
so
still
crazy.
able to do everything I want
It
to do.
still worked
I don't need
out.
to go." Yeah.
Dang, you're amazing. That's cool.
I have my moments. I have my moments. I don't deserve the title yet, but all right. So we're going through the seasons now. Season 3, season 4, your last season, right? Or your most previous, I should say. Definitely not your last.
Yeah.
And so, what is the future for you? What is next? First of all, I also want to say I think it's amazing how you guys call each other ninjas. Like all the other ninjas, I
Yeah.
think that's super cool. That
Oh yeah,
title.
it's a community. It's so freaking cool.
So-
we like love each other. It's so awesome.
So what is next? Like, do you have another show lined up?
Yes.
Like,
So right now, this season, I took off the show. So this season, you guys won't see me on there, just on the women's episode that aired. So I decided to just do bodybuilding this year. It's really hard to divide your focus with. I knew I wanted to do bodybuilding again because I had only did it in 2014. So I knew I was going to revisit that. Like I didn't win overall, so I wasn't done yet. I knew I was going to come back to it. Yeah. So then I did Ninja Warrior, and I decided to take this season off and focus on bodybuilding. And so yeah, like we said, I got my pro card in Corona. So I'm going to do, what is it? What's the next one in LA? What is it called?
the Burbank, the World Cup.
There you go. World Cup. I was going to say USA, but that was just the one that just
that was the
passed.
previous.
So I'm going to do World Cup on I think it's the 4th or 5th. And then I'm going to do the Natural Olympia the week after that in Vegas. So I'm going to see how I do as a pro. We'll see. You convinced me to do it, so I'm doing it. You talked me into it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to finish my trifecta in a couple weeks. It's on the 22nd of my trifecta for the Spartan Race. So I'm like stacking up all these things on myself, but I'm like, I love it. I love the adrenaline. I love pushing myself. I love to challenge myself and do what I've never done before. So the next one is a beast. I do not like running far distance. I love the obstacles on Spartan, but I do not love running 12 miles. So the next one's 12 miles and 30 obstacles, which I'm literally going to run to the obstacle because it's like Disneyland, like, oh my gosh, an obstacle. I loved it. I kill the obstacles. The obstacles are easy for me because I'm a ninja, but the running part is like, oh, I hate it. And I don't like the mud either.
Yes, I do want to go more deeper into the Spartan, the Spartan conversation. So the trifecta, so you've done 2 of the Spartan runs already.
Yeah.
You did the first and second, and then now you're doing the third one.
third.
The third and final to complete the 3-piece
trifecta.
medal.
Yeah, and I've done 2 prior to this year, but I never got my trifecta. I did 2 sprints. I was like, oh, let me just try it out. So I never got my trifecta, and this is the year I was like, I'm going to do bodybuilding and I'm going to do my trifecta, because when you are doing the show, it takes up a lot of time, a lot of training. You have to commute to different, you have to commute and drive to the gym, especially because there's no ninja gym where I live anymore. That one shut down after 8 months. So after I got on the show, the whole gym shut down. So I had to commute to Fresno and then go to Richmond, which is Traverse Fitness. And then down here, they have Movement Lab in San Dimas. So I would commute 3-hour drive, which is kind of far, but you got to do what you got to do. So that takes up so much time and gas and money. And then when there's a competition, that takes up more money and more time. So there's no time to do trifectas. There's no time to do bodybuilding or prep for a show or any of that. So that's why I was like, okay, this year I'm going to knock out these 2 things that I've wanted to do and didn't have time to. So that's why I'm doing the Spartan and the bodybuilding. So next year, I don't know. I'm really praying about and asking God what he wants me to do. Like, I really want to open my own gym, and all my clients want me to open my own gym. So that's also like something that's like in the back of my mind, like I got to try to do, or I need to do something with that. So I don't know if I'm going to do Ninja next year or if I'm going to focus on trying to open a gym, but I miss Ninja so much that I'm like, oh, I can't wait to hang out with the ninjas. Oh, I can't wait to compete again. So I'm going to be excited to go tomorrow because it's going to be really fun. And I'm going to see one of my ninja friends there. But the whole community is awesome. Everything about Ninja is amazing. They're very supportive, just like the PNBA is. So everyone supports one another. At the end of the day, it's you against the course. It's not you against everyone else. Overall it is, but it's really you against the course. You got to do better than you did the following year. And you got to do the best that you possibly can, that your body is going to allow you to. So I don't know. I definitely can't say I'm done with Ninja. I definitely won't say that. I just don't know if I'm going to apply next year or if I'm going to focus on opening a gym. So we'll see. I'm still praying about it, but Ninja is definitely not done seeing me yet.
So for the people who, because you kind of rolled over a little bit. So for people who don't know, we are going to go tomorrow to the Wolf's Den in San Bernardino, which is a ninja gym. Yep. And you are going to kick my ass. Yes. Gonna show you. That's literally what I told you. I'm like, we need to go there so you can kick my ass. And we're going to film it. It's going to be a great time. But you're gonna guide me. You're gonna give me some pointers at the same time.
I'm gonna help you.
And hopefully I don't
survive,
hurt anything, or
don't break anything, please. No, if you didn't do it on the salmon ladder, don't do it with me.
I'll be sure to sign a waiver prior.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun tomorrow.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm super excited I'm like excited, but I'm nervous because I told you before we started the podcast, I was like, I'm on my bulk right now. I'm like 225 pounds. Like
it's I'm a little not heavy.
Yeah, I'm not at my most athletic weight at the time. I'm strong, right? Mm-hmm. But obviously strength, you don't need just strength.
Right.
You need athleticism. So
you do.
I'm gonna do my best.
You can do it.
And I'm gonna do a lot of stretching tonight.
There you
Make
go.
sure I'm nice and loose for tomorrow.
Honestly, the first year, I think I muscled through everything. Like I didn't know technique. Like you can get through a lot with muscling through everything, but now like Ninja Warrior's evolving so much, and I'm pretty sure you've seen all the teens on there.
Oh yeah.
It is so technical now that it's like you can't muscle through that. Like you literally need to know the proper technique for each obstacle, and if you don't, you're going to be stuck on the obstacle or you're going to be in the water. Like it definitely evolved, because I'm telling you, in 2016 or 2017, I muscled through the stuff. But so we'll see how you do tomorrow. It'll be fun to watch though.
I'm so excited for it. So back to the Spartan races for the beast. Can you explain, so that you said it was 12 miles.
Yep.
How many obstacles are we looking at? And where's it at? Is that the one in Big Bear?
Lebec. This one's in Lebec.
Okay.
Yeah, they do one in Big Bear. I think that one already happened. That one's, they said that's really steep. Wait, is it Big Bear or Tahoe? One of them. It's either Big Bear or Tahoe, where they said it's super steep. But the one I'm doing in Lebec is like pretty steep as well. It's like one of the top ones in the United States. That's, the elevation's pretty high. So yeah, I think it's between 12 and 14 miles. And then 30 obstacles. So the obstacles are broken up within the miles. Yeah. As you're going up, you have to carry a sandbag, you have to carry a bucket, you have to, get through monkey bars, you have to go through mud, get submerged all the way underneath the mud. You can't see. Like I always put goggles on because I'm afraid of like pink eye and stuff. I'm so weird. I'm such a germaphobe. So I put goggles on. I'm the only one carrying the goggles with me. And it's like my friend was like, that I did with a Spartan Race a couple years ago. She said, oh my gosh, like you're really gonna have goggles? And I'm like, yeah, like you can get pink eye and other things. I'm not risking that. She's like, oh my gosh, Z. So I put the goggles on, I get through it, dry my face off, and then keep running. She ends up with pink eye the next day. She's like, gosh, I will never make fun of you again. And I was like, I told you.
Instant
and so
karma.
Then I was good. So yeah, you always see me with my hair braided back because I don't want it caught in the barbed wire. They also have a barbed wire. You have to crawl. Army crawl underneath barbed wire, and as you continue to go up or down, as you continue to go through it, the barbed wire gets lower and lower, so you have to get lower. So it's a lot of fun obstacles. It's different than Tough Mudder. A lot of people compare the two, but Tough Mudder has these things that are like electric shock,
like
and then and the ice thingy. I don't do well with cold. Like I actually hate the cold. So that's why I haven't done a Tough Mudder, because the ice and the electric shock, like those things do not seem, to me, that's not even an obstacle. To me, an obstacle is something that you're conquering and
physically,
physically, not torture.
Yeah.
To me, that's torture. So I haven't done a Tough Mudder, but maybe one day if they take those two things out, we'll see. But I'm definitely a Spartan girl, so I'm excited to get my trifecta this year. Yeah, finally.
You're gonna make me become a ninja and a Spartan racer.
Yes, do it. Yeah, I have a group of my clients. They're like, a group of them. I'm like, you guys, you want to do a Spartan race with me? They're like, yeah, but we can't keep up with you. I'm like, that's okay. We'll train together. We'll do everything together. We'll get a team. So my team is called Z Mode. So they all sign up together, and then two of them like stay with each other. I take off the sprint. I'm like gone, like I think it's like 2.5, 3 miles. I'm gone. I want to see where I rank on the, at my age group. This beast, I'm not, because I'm too close to the show. I can't burn that many calories. If I try to run the 12 miles, I'm probably going to be dead on the floor. Like there's no way.
So when is the Spartan run?
It's the 22nd of October. And then,
so that's like 2 weeks before your competition.
My coaches don't like that.
Wow.
I know.
You really are hardcore.
I know, dude. I know. My coaches are like, one coach was like, you know, you're doing too much, right? You're going up, you're doing Rocky Hill, you're doing 8 miles, you're doing this and that. And I was like, yeah, I know. I thought about that. I'm a trainer. Like I know when I'm overdoing it. So I was like, I'll take it back, or I'll walk some of it, instead of running.
I know competitors that get exhausted just from breathing. Just from watching TV, they're like getting tired.
What?
Just being sarcastic.
That's
right?
crazy.
Being extreme. But like for a competitor that's 2 weeks out, the last thing I would ever think about is doing a Spartan run for fun.
I know it's crazy. I know I am crazy. I'm different. I'm telling you, I'm a different breed for sure. Like
100%.
Yeah.
I thought I was intense. I'm nowhere near.
People are like, dude, you're next level. I'm like, I like that. I'll take that. I'll take that any day. Yeah, I love it. I love it though. It's exciting. I don't know. I'm crazy though.
Or I just need more intense friends.
There you go.
I think that's what it is.
Or just hang around me a little bit longer.
There we go. I think that's gonna be the key to this.
Yes.
Because if I'm around someone as crazy as you, because it takes a little bit of craziness to do what you do. Sure. I think it'll like rub off on me, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, my husband's like, no. I was like, you want to do the Spartan race with me? He's like, no, dude, you're crazy. Like, I don't know how you do any of this stuff that you're doing. Like, he thinks I'm crazy. He did start working out. I'm like, babe, you got to work out like a couple days a week. Like, he's not into fitness. He loves running and he loves playing basketball and he's really good at it. But he's not like, he doesn't like lift. He doesn't love lifting like I do. And he's not into the obstacles in the Spartan, but he would love to run. But he's like, no, I'm good. Like you do you. Like you're insane. Like he just knows. Like, yeah, my wife's insane. Like he tells me.
So I could run a maximum right now, like 2.5 miles. Will I have enough time to train for a Spartan race in 3 weeks?
Yeah, you can do it.
Oh, don't lie to me.
Yeah, you could. I mean, like I said, I'm not running that. Like I'm literally told the clients, I'm going to chill with you guys. I got to take it easy on this one. Yeah. I have to. I'm not going to you're not going to see my name on the top score of the age group. I'm going to help them get through every obstacle. I'm going to stay with the team. This is the first time I'm doing that, by the way. Usually I'm like, bye. Yeah. We all have the same shirts on. We're all dabbing it out. Peace out. Gone. You know, I'm finished. Like I'll finish an hour before them because they're just doing what they need to do. But that's a huge accomplishment for them because they're like, I've never done this before. It's a challenge and I'm helping them get there and they absolutely love it. And I love my clients. They're amazing. I have a girl that's 63 years old and she's doing the beast with me. She's amazing. Like you'll see her in my pictures when I post. She's better than I am. She's freaking amazing. So I'm not going to be doing it fast. So you'll be ready because I'm not going to go all out.
I'll give it some thought. Send me the info.
Okay.
So that's the future for you, right? So you have your Spartan race coming up. You have 2 bodybuilding competitions back to back, week after week. Yep. One in LA, one in Vegas. And then next year, possibly the gym, possibly another season of American Ninja Warrior. Yep. What is like the ultimate goal for you? Like, what are you trying to do?
Honestly,
like what's the end game plan?
I don't even have one. I'm not even that. I wish I was that structured, but I'm not. I just go with the flow. Like I said, like things just pop up and they come like, oh, that's a challenge. Like do it. Like I just always want to challenge myself. And I just want to be the best at everything that I do, everything that I put my effort, my time in. I just want to kill it. I just want to do so good. I want to inspire people. I want to encourage people. I want to do things that are different and out of the box and just be unique, like live up to my name, unique Zhanique. Like I want to be unique in everything I do, and I want to just inspire people. So whatever that might be, whatever the next thing might be, because I have to up it, like a trifecta, and then bodybuilding. Like, I mean, hopefully I do well in bodybuilding, but
You need to contact the Spartan Race people and American Ninja Warrior and combine
there you
them
go.
together.
That would be so freaking cool. That would be awesome.
American Ninja Spartan Warrior.
There you go.
The words are there. Make it work.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally like that. It's just that Ninja Warrior doesn't have all the running, and then Spartan has all the running, and their obstacles aren't as technical.
Exactly.
So, yeah, a combination of both would be amazing. Or I need to create my own, right?
And then at the very end, you have a warp wall after 12 miles. And if you don't complete the warp wall, all the previous 11 miles were a waste.
We're not. Oh gosh, that sounds horrible. That sounds brutal.
That sounds amazing for it to watch.
Right? And crazy to do, but I'm down. I'm down for crazy.
Somebody just listened to that. They're jotting it down right now. Like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that is a good idea.
That's the next. They're going to start a little business. That's cool.
Oh, my gosh. So you brought some bars for me today.
Oh, yes, I
We
did.
have some of the vegan ZFIT bars. You mind holding them up for the camera there so
Yes.
people can see it?
Okay, so I have 9 different flavors I
Yeah.
created now.
Talk to me.
I'm sorry. I brought 3. So I make 3 different flavors each week. I have like a sign up sheet. I know a lot of people are like, can you ship them to me? Like, technically I can, but you have to pay for shipping, which is like overnight shipping. So it's like $26, but I can ship them if you want them. But it's going to take longer, and it's just a little bit harder. You can freeze them. So they do have real fruit in them, most of them. So freezing them is better. It preserves them, keeps them, they last longer. But if not, you keep them in the fridge for like 5 to 7 days. So this one right here is a strawberry vanilla bliss. That has 14 grams of protein.
Hey.
It has healthy fat because it's made with almond butter, and it has oats. So a lot of people will either use it as their breakfast or a post-workout snack if they're not trying to lose weight. So it's a meal replacement if you're trying to lose weight. But if you're not and you're trying to get those gains, then that will be a snack for after your workout. Like after the gym, I'm just like chewing on it. So that one was strawberry vanilla bliss. This one is blueberry. This one has 17 grams of protein. It's cinnamon blueberry crumble. And then this one is one of the favorite ones as well. Well, they're all favorite. Everyone loves them. This one's honey almond granola. So technically, this one's not vegan if you don't do honey. Some vegans do honey. Some vegans don't. But this is made with real honey. So this is the only one that's technically not vegan. All the other ones are completely vegan. But it just has honey in it. So it has honey and granola in it. And this one also has 14 grams of protein. So the blueberry has the highest. It has 17.
So my favorite cereal is Honey Bunches of Oats.
Oh, yeah. You're going to love it.
So is that basically what that bar is? Oh, let's go.
You're going to freaking love it. Yeah. But it has protein. So it's even better,
Even
know?
better.
Yeah. It has chocolate chips in it. And they're vegan chocolate. That one has vegan chocolate chips. This one has real blueberries in it and dried blueberries. And then the strawberry has real strawberries and organic strawberry powder. So I do it all. I just get creative and I just get in there and I'm just like, what flavor now? So I have some other flavors brewing in my head, but I'm like, dude, I can't, like the supply and demand is crazy. I'm making like 100 to 120 a week.
And you make these all yourself?
All myself. Like sometimes I can get my 17-year-old to help me, like if she's not gone or doing homework or whatever, but I am very picky. Like people tell me all the time, oh, I can help you. But I'm like, no, this is my baby.
Yeah.
This is my recipe. This is my baby. So it's literally the only person that knows how to help me is my husband, but I already fired him. I'm like, I don't like the way you make them. I don't like the way it looks. It's not perfect. So I fired him. So my daughter is the one who helps me every once in a while, but it's basically just me, and they're homemade from scratch. So every ingredient is like pure ingredients, clean ingredients, all made with love. So they're so good. Like the clients, you're going to love them. Like you're going to be addicted. Every time someone eats it, they're like, oh my gosh, this is so addicting. Or if there's one that you don't love, you're going to love the other one.
Yeah.
So it just depends. Everyone has different palates. So yeah, this is just some of them. I have pumpkin pie.
I'm super excited for you to
chocolate
try them
coconut
out.
peanut butter.
Do you happen to have a coffee flavor one, like a mocha?
I actually did do a coffee one. I did a chocolate. It was a chocolate coconut peanut butter with coffee in it. I don't have that with that one with me, but next time I see you, I will bring you it because I do. I have it all.
I love that you made that comment about your husband. So another be a man moment. I forgot. There's a word for it, but it basically says like if somebody doesn't want to do something, they'll purposely be bad at it so that they don't get asked to do it again. There's a word for it. I forgot the word for it.
Honestly, it's so funny. He's like, babe, I can help you. And I'm like, no, it's okay. Thank you,
And
though.
he's like, oh, no.
Yeah, he's totally fine with it because I'm really like, oh, no, you're not doing it right that way. Oh, which one are you using? Like, which one are you making? I'm like over the top, like, you don't want to work for me.
Well, your name and your brand is on it, right?
Yeah,
so,
it's like, it has to be the way. Yeah, I'm super big. He's like, dude, I can help you. Like, he can't even buy, like, food for me or, like, cook for me. Like, he can't. He's like, I can't do anything right. I'm good. Like, I'm good. I'm done. And, like, he'll go to the store and I'm like, oh, what did you buy me, babe? Like, just joking around. And he's like, I can't shop for you. Like, if I buy something, you'll be like, oh, it's not vegan enough, or it's not healthy enough, or it's not gluten free. Like, and then he'll just sit in the freezer and he's like, no, I can't do that, babe. Get your own stuff. And so,
especially when you're on prep, it like takes it to another level.
Perfect. Yeah. It has to be exactly.
I'm the same way on prep. My wife is the same way.
Is she?
She's like, I was going to get you something, but I already know.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to bother.
Yeah. Cause it's a waste of time. It's just going to sit there. Yeah. I just threw away a whole bunch of vegan food because it was nowhere where the macros needed to be, didn't even look healthy. And it said tastes like real meat. I'm like, nah, not doing that. It was like a pulled pork and like something out, like it was a fake fish, and it said tastes like fish. And I'm like, I'll get sick. Like, if something tastes like meat to me, I will literally get sick. Like, it's so weird.
I guess that'd be more for someone who was a big meat eater and then transitioned to vegan. That's probably who it's more for, because
yeah, exactly. Yeah, just like the Impossible Burgers.
Exactly.
Yes. So that's just for people, or people that just want to eat less meat. They can totally still have less meat, and it's beef from plants, but less fat and less calories. That's like an alternative. That's why the Impossible guy made that. But I'm like, I can't even do the Impossible Burgers. It like the oil, the coconut oil, the texture, the taste, it tastes like meat. And I'm like, I get sick to my stomach. I can't even do that. It has to be like a vegetable patty, like black bean patty made from scratch, like has to have all whole foods in it. Otherwise I will not eat it.
And the whole vegan thing is like a big argument in the bodybuilding community, right? Because people are like, oh, if you're a vegan, you can't really build muscle. But throughout these last like 5 to 10 years, we've seen some amazing bodybuilders come out that are vegan.
Crazy, huh?
There's a classic physique guy in the INBA. He's a pro for classic and men's physique. His name's Irvin Hernandez.
Okay.
And he's a vegan, and he is completely shredded and crazy amount of muscle on his body.
Crazy, huh?
You know, and I'm just like, there's always ways to do it.
Yep, there is. You just have to learn how, like, what to eat and how to eat. Like, people that go from eating meat and then vegan, eating vegan, it's like they don't know what to eat, so they're eating a lot of processed vegan food, and like that's not healthy for you.
Right.
Like that's not good, because you might as well eat processed regular food. It's like it's a whole lifestyle change. It's tons of beans, legumes, lentils, nuts, almond butter, like all natural though, like where the only ingredient in there is almond and salts, or peanut butter. I do only organic peanut butter, where it's just peanuts and salt. Like that's it. And that on a rice cake, like it's just, there's only rice cake, oatmeal. That's all. It's and with some sliced bananas. Oh my gosh, yeah. And then like the right protein powders. You don't need stuff with all kinds of crap in it. Like, make sure you're getting clean plant-based protein. Like, it doesn't have to have this list of ingredients. It should have like the one I buy. It's like Travani. It's like 3 ingredients.
I was gonna ask
the Vega. There's like 5 ingredients. Like that's what's made in here. It's 5 ingredients in the protein.
Yeah, I've done the Vega Pro, I believe it is. And
there's Simply Made Simple or whatever. That one has 5. But then there is the Pro. That's the one with 30 grams of protein, right? Is that the black one?
I think so. And I've also tried the V Pro. Is that the same one? V Pro by NutriKey?
No, that's a different one.
A whole different brand. Okay.
I've
had that one as well. And they actually have a mocha flavor, and it tastes just like black coffee.
Oh, that's probably really good.
If you like black coffee, that one's actually really good. And they have a good like vanilla wafer flavor.
Nice.
And I love vanilla wafers. Like,
bomb.
So good.
I haven't had those in so long.
So that was actually pretty good too. So like, even though I'm not vegan, I still like to dabble around with some vegan options.
Test other things.
Like I've done vegan omegas before. It's from algae.
Oh yeah, that's what I was using, and my coach is like, no, use the oil, and I'm like, but then I can't eat fats. Like oil, 1 tablespoon of oil is like,
it's like 15 grams of fat.
Yeah, it was 14, 15, and I'm like, bro, I'm already not high in fat, and he's just like, suck it up. I'm like, dang it, but he's right. Like,
why did he make you make the switch?
less pills and supplement. Like I'm not even on BCAAs or glutamine. Like I'm literally just on creatine. Like that's it.
Yeah.
I know, you know how every coach is different, but
Yeah.
he's like, you don't need to be taking all these. I already take a multivitamin, so it's a plant-based multivitamin with just whole foods in it, and then what is the other thing I'm taking? Oh, turmeric. Turmeric. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Sorry, turmeric. And then the other thing was the omegas, and he's like, just do the oil, because something about the way it absorbs in your body. It's easier to do it from the oil than it is to do it in the pill form, because then it has to go through your liver, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the liquid has a higher bioavailability.
Yes, that's what he said. Yes, correct. So that's what I'm doing. I'm like, okay, whatever. But yeah, I can't eat more avocados. I want more avocado or more almond butter.
Yeah. Gosh.
It's hard,
Yeah.
but it's okay. I'm living. It sucks because you could just like, you have to put it on something. So I'm just doing a salad every day, 1 tablespoon of oil and a little bit of balsamic, and that's how I'm eating it every day, because I will not do a spoon like that. Like that would be so gross to me. I've done that with flaxseed oil, and it's not good. Like just taking it to the hoop like that is disgusting. Yeah, it's gross. And the omega one is almost like fishy.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I can't do it. So I have to throw it with balsamic and lettuce and any type of other veggies that I have. So that's how I'm doing it.
So outside of all the Spartan stuff and the ninja stuff and competing stuff and and baking stuff, and you do so much. You're also a trainer.
Yes, also a trainer on top of that.
That's like the umbrella, right? That's like the main thing, and that goes on top of everything.
Right.
Is you are also a trainer. So I'm going to give you, like, the floor is yours. So where can people find you and contact you for training, for the bars?
Okay.
Give people all your Insta tags.
Yes. So mainly you can hit me up on Instagram. I do not do online training yet. Maybe you can help me get my foot in the door with that, because I'm so curious. I do eventually, like, so many people hit me up all over because they see me on TV and they're like, can you online train me? And I'm like, haven't quite got there yet. Like I have so much time already. I'm so spread thin, and I'm training. I love in-person training, and I'm sure you do too. But online is a really good way to get yourself out there for people that live other places. Right. So I do eventually want to do online training, but I'm not there yet. So right now I'm doing in-person training. I do have my own gym in Visalia. So if you live in Visalia, you can hit me up, go on Instagram, or go on Facebook. It's just Zhanique Lovett, ZHANIQUE LOVETT, just my first and last name. And you can message me. I'm really good about checking my messages, the requests, everything. And I'm really good about getting back to everyone. So I will get back to you, for either bars or if you live in that area for training. Eventually I will do online training, but right now I haven't done that. I have so much going on right now, but, after bodybuilding, that was the second thing other than the gym that I wanted, other than opening the gym, is online training. So yeah, so just Zhanique Lovett, hit me up on there. I do post ninja stuff. I do post my workouts. I post my clients, what I'm doing with the bodybuilding, whatever I'm doing at the time. I post my kiddos. So you'll see, just follow me on IG and then you'll see all my stuff on there. So yeah.
Beautiful. Well, Zhanique, thank you again for taking the time to drive out here.
Thank you for
I
having
appreciate
me.
it. That was such a fun conversation.
Thank you.
And thank you for bringing a picture of you on the course, and you autographed it for me. That's going to be the first thing I have up in the studio.
Yay! Super cool.
Yeah, and thank you for being my first female guest.
Oh, I am.
Well. Yes.
Ooh, I was on the last podcast too. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thanks again for coming on, and I'm excited for tomorrow. Yes. And for people who are watching, the stuff we do tomorrow will already be out by the time this episode airs and is released.
Right.
So they're going to have a fun time watching that. But I look forward to it. And for everybody else watching and listening, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys could listen to me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and find the video on YouTube. If you guys do any of that on YouTube, please subscribe and leave a comment if you want. And then on podcasts, you guys can leave up to a 5-star review. I would greatly appreciate that. And we shall see you guys next time.
Peace. Super cool. Oh, I love your podcast.